Front Row MMA here with BAMMA World Middleweight Champion Scott Askham. And first off, Scott, commiserations on the injury and the fact that you're not going to be able to compete at BAMMA 14. How gutted are you?
Yeah, obviously it's been a really good year for me, and we're a bit of a bad end with my injury really. So I was looking forward to getting in cage and finishing off a fight with a defence of my title, but obviously that hadn't happened. So a bit disappointed.
Ion Pascal is the guy that you were slated to fight, and obviously we saw him on the same card as you at BAMMA 13, and he beat the royal hell out of Jack Marshman. I'm afraid I can't put it any other way. I mean, he pounded Jack Marshman out. What were you looking forward to most about that fight?
Stylistically, I think I match up well against Ion. He looked to plant his feet and wing that left hand a few times, and you just got to fight. No disrespect to Jack, but I think he just came forward a little bit too much, and we sort of were walking onto that left hand. You know what I mean? Game plan was for the fight really. I didn't really have one. Just move around, feel it out, and see where the fight goes. You know what I mean? If the takedown were there, take the takedown. If the stand up were there, just do the stand up. I felt comfortable in all areas against him. I think I matched up well against him. So,
do you think that that's probably going to be your first fight back as a title? Do you think that he deserves that shot, or do you not particularly care?
I don't particularly care really. I would imagine that he'll be wanting a fight before Christmas. He'll want a payday, so I would imagine that he'll be getting matched up to fight someone else. And if he puts them away, obviously he's definitely his shot on it. Or if he's flush with money, he might not want to fight, and he might want to wait for a shot against me. We'll have to see. That's BAMMA's decision and his decision. So.
Your last two fights, you've taken on completely different stylistic opponents. Marshman was known for his boxing. I mean, that's what people and then your opponent at BAMMA 13 was a BJJ that was a specialist, and you handled both. Where do you see where are your biggest improvements going to come from? Because it doesn't seem to matter what style of fighter you face, you find a way to solve the riddle.
Yeah, it's like each fight we just try to focus on the whole game really. We don't like just hammer one aspect of the game. We do try to focus on it all, and we try to improve in all areas instead of just one. So like I say, when I fought against Marshman, I just took him down and took him out of his game. And when I fought George Bezerra, that game plan didn't really go to plan really. I was hoping I could stuff the takedown and stop him from jumping guard as well and keep the fight standing, but he was a lot quicker on his feet. He was in and out a lot better than we thought, and sometimes it's just, you can't really stop somebody from jumping guard. But obviously what we did work on was his half guard game. We'd watched his half guard game, and we just totally stuffed that out.
How important is it to do the research on, to research your fighters? Because again, there are kind of two schools of thought that you just have to let a fight happen, and it's like it evolves, or there are that school of thought which says we look for those mistakes. How important is that research to you?
Yeah, everybody's different. Some people say they don't watch. Some people say they do watch. I do watch. I watch a lot, but you're looking for the mistakes in their games, but you're not making a game plan totally around that. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously, I watch my fights back a lot, and I look at my mistakes. So obviously, I would have thought a lot of fighters do the same thing and think, do you think there was something wrong there? That shouldn't be happening, and they go back to the gym and work on that. So I don't really. I do look for mistakes and think, like, if I'm in sort of certain positions, I can work on that, and I look for stuff that they do well to. For me to work on defences for stuff like that more than like mistakes they're making, because obviously they're looking to improve on their mistakes all the time. So,
if the choice was entirely yours, would you have still wanted to take this fight on the 14th? Are you now at the point in your career where
the choice was mine anyway? It was my choice to pull out, and I know I wasn't going to be ready. And like I said, I know my own body, and I just knew I wasn't going to be able to get on mat. The first week of injury, people were saying just rest up, keep running and stuff, but you just know yourself. Do you know what I mean? I was at home, I'm thinking this isn't ain't going to be right. I've had injuries before where it's muscle, and like, so obviously muscle injuries heal a lot quicker. Do you know what I mean? I thought it's not going to be right. I knew it was a little bit more serious than that. So it was my decision to pull out, not anyone else's.
What I was really asking was, you know, the fact that you're now at the point where you can't be more than 2 or 3 fights or 2 or 3 title defenses away from Bellator or the UFC. Does that play into your mind at all as well because I know fighters fight injured?
Yeah, no, that wasn't on my mind at all. I'd like to think I'm a bit closer than 2 or 3 fights, to be honest, but I fought all year with an injured hand. If it's not injured enough to stop me fighting, I will fight. You know what I mean? But I just know it won't go over there. I've fought 3 fights this year. Like I said, with an injured hand. I did actually think it was better before the George Brazier fight, but as soon as I got in, I busted it up again. So, but a little bit of rest won't do me any harm over Christmas, and see when the next BAMMA show is, see what happens.
You say you hope you're closer than 2 or 3 fights to the big league. Well, you know, there's a middleweight that's, you know, he didn't win tough, but you know he had a great debut against Andrew Craig at Manchester, Luke Barnett, and I believe he's stated that you wouldn't last a round with him.
Yeah, that was about 2 years ago. Jay Furnace put on Twitter, I think Scott Askham v Luke Barnett would be a good matchup, and at the time he hadn't even finished anybody. That cheat said I wouldn't last around when I'd finished all my opponents. But yeah, he's been a little bit more fortunate with me. He's got on tough. He's doing well in his career. But yeah, Luke Barnett's somebody I'd love to fight, definitely.
How do you think that fight would go? And in all honesty, though, how do you think that fight? Because I think that's a great UK MMA fight that should be at the highest level.
Yeah, like I said, at the highest level at the time, we were unknown. So for us both to fight each other at that stage were a bit stupid, really. So he was a bit stupid. He just likes to run his mouth, doesn't he? I've seen on Twitter he does it with a few people. But I match up really well against Luke Barnett. He's a big slow, they call him. I'd say he's a bit slow, but that's up to him, innit?
Yeah, it's easy for you to laugh. You're on the other side of the camera and no one sees you laugh. 2014. What's that got? What does 2014 have in store for Scott Askham?
As many wins as 2013, hopefully, maybe an extra one as well. Yeah, want to keep pushing that pace, going the way we're going. Like I said in a few other interviews, obviously we'll hit a few bumps in roads. Obviously this is one at minute. You know what I mean? I'm out injured. My missus is due in 2 weeks, so obviously I want to be in that cage. I want to be providing for my family as well, because I'm doing it for a job. So I'm a bit unfortunate that way, but we'll be back stronger and stronger. I'm not
searching for the exclusive, because we don't do that here. But you know, when you had to contact them and say, look, I'm not going to be physically ready for the 14th, is there any indication at all that BAMMA 15 is not going to be sort of 6 months down the road? And that it's something that you're going to appear on?
I've no idea. I've contacted Carl, and Carl's done rest, really. I've had no contact with BAMMA whatsoever. That's Carl's job. So I don't know when next BAMMA is. I don't know much about that. So,
but I take it you'd want to be on that card.
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%. Yeah, of course I would. Yeah.
What does being the BAMMA World Champion mean to you?
Yeah, it's everything, really. Isn't it? When you start at your career. You look at fighters and you think, yeah, they're good, and you want to be as good as them, and then obviously you start to win a few fights, and people start telling you can be as good as them. You still don't believe it. It's like, obviously, like, I've never believed that I can't win a fight. You know what I mean? Each fight I believe I can't win, but when people tell you, oh, you're as good as them, you don't really believe it. You think, God, they're good. You know what I mean? And you just keep coming more and more forward, and it starts to get more and more real. And now I'm looking at a lot of guys and thinking, I can beat them, you know what I mean? Instead of thinking, I'm not in their league, I'm thinking, I can beat them. So, yeah, it's a good feeling. Is
being a contender and being a champion, is it two different? Because as a contender, you're looking for that goal. You're looking to get that title. Once you have that title, what is it you're looking for next?
Well, you're always obviously looking a bit more internationally, really, aren't you, for fighters? There's a lot of people who are still ranked above me, but they're all pretty much signed. So international fights, we want the toughest fights possible. We want to keep progressing my career, and that's where we'll go down that road.
UFC comes to London in March. They haven't asked certainly Big Slow hasn't come out and said he's got anybody yet. Is that, if they came knocking on your door, is that a fight you'd even hesitate to take?
Of course it would, yeah. I'd sign it and send it back straight away, 100%, yeah. Of course it would.
We've been talking to a lot of your teammates today, and you know, we appreciate you guys having us up here. We've been fortunate enough to go to a lot of gyms across the country, but and you know, all the gyms preach this family thing. But what does Ludus Magnus mean to you?
Yeah, you've obviously heard a lot of guys during interviews saying that we're like a family, but we are really like a family. I mean, we all go out and represent club, and we represent each other as well. Do you know what I mean? Obviously. I know it's when you're in that cage door shot, it's only you in there, but you've got your whole team behind you. Do you know what I mean? And it's a good atmosphere. We're 18 and 2 this year. I've just been trying to work it out while everybody else has been interviewed. I think 10 of them are pro fights. We're 10 and 0 as pros as a team. And there's just good atmosphere in the gym. Everything, we're all buzzing off each other. We've got good guys coming through. We've got good opportunities coming through because of Carl and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just everything's good. Yeah.
You know, the disappointment of not being able to fight on BAMMA 14, this is going to sound like an odd question because I don't believe you've ever considered it. But, you know, there are going to be people that we're looking forward to watch you. You're starting to develop a fan base. There's no other way to put it. What message would you have for those people that want to see you do well and want you to achieve? And what are you going to tell them about the next time you step into the cage?
Yeah, obviously, apologies to everybody who's bought tickets for my fight on BAMMA to see me and stuff. If I could get in, like I've just said earlier on an interview, if I could get in, I would be in there. It is an injury where I can't train. I won't be fit, so obviously I've had to pull out. But and I'm scared of Steve for the tap out challenge. You know, I did bottle it a bit because I didn't think I could beat 36 seconds.
Don't say that, because you got guys around here going, "I'll do it in fucking 10." Fair, man.
They're all growling in behind camera thinking I'm getting him, yeah.
Oh, shit. Before we let you go, Scott, well, first off, we appreciate your time coming down, especially when, you know, you're coming in and injured. It's a Sunday morning. Your teammates have come down and shown us nothing but, you know, some courtesy. And before we let you go, is there anybody that you'd like to thank, any sponsors you'd like to name, and a message for Scott Askham fans about what 2014 is going to give you?
Yeah, obviously I'd like to thank all my sponsors. I'd like to give out a special shout out to Steve Mitchell at Sandbag Financial Advisors, Land Engineering Services, Oil Mill MOT and Millennium Motor Spares. Obviously, when we've been out injured, these guys will support me financially. I've got great sponsors who provide me with supplements and stuff. I'm grateful for that as well, but your guys, thanks a lot. All guys at Ludus Magnus, a great team, and Tony Milthorpe, who's my physio. He's helping me out with my injury, getting me back on mat as quick as I can. He's put a lot of time into me all year, really, because I've been having physio twice a week on my knuckle as well for pretty much all year. So thanks a lot to Tony Milthorpe as well. Yeah, you're a great help.
Just Scott, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. We look forward to seeing you compete again. Thank you.
Cheers.